Hello, guys. Welcome back to Beyond the Realms. And today I have another screener copy from Film Movement. And I just got done watching this, and it is a documentary called A Life in Dirty Movies. Now, when I requested this, I did not know anything about it. Um, the synopsis of it, it talks about a guy, 88-year-old guy named Joe Sarno, who was really uh, popular, well, not really popular, but known from the 60s and 70s for doing softcore porn movies. And he also did uh, get into doing hardcore porn at certain times too. And, I just requested and figured, what the heck? I like documentaries. I figured I'd give this a shot. And honestly, guys, going into this, I thought, okay, this it's going to be some sleazy old guy, not very good in character or whatever. I that's what I thought going into this. And after watching it, I was definitely wrong on this one. Um, Joe Sarno is he's an artist, and it really you get that feeling from watching this movie or this documentary. Of course, yes, he did make sexploitation films, and but there was just an art quality to him. Like they show a lot of clips of his films in this, and sometimes the people would actually be having sex, and other times they didn't. They would have their undergarments on and just be pretending to have sex. But the thing is, he had a real artistic eye for it. It was about the lighting, the camera angles, and stuff like that. And then there's times like his wife in this, Peggy Sarno. She talks about this scene in one of the films he did in the very early 70s, where the couple was actually having sex. He didn't show penetration or anything like that because, of course, it was a softcore. But the girl has an orgasm, and a vein pops out on her head, and it's just really intense. And she talks about how like that's her favorite scene that he ever shot. It's just, and they show it, and yes, there is an artistic quality to that, and you can see the skill that he had. Um, and once the hardcore porn hit, he reluctantly had to get into it. It's what he talks about. The audience demanded it, so he got into it. But he didn't want to go that route. He wasn't about showing all of that. It was more, he put a story into his films. Yes, it did, everything revolved around sex, but he looked at it more sensual and artistic than just showing penetration and money shots and stuff like that. um, but this documentary, they've got film historians, they've got film scholars. They even have John Waters on here talking about the relevancy of Joe Sarno and the films that he made, and they talk about the impact that he had on 42nd Street during that whole era, and how many of his films played for a very long time just off of word of mouth. But guys, this documentary just really surprised me how good I liked it. It seems like, I've always been into documentaries, but it seems like the older I get, the more I like them. And I love it when one comes out of nowhere like this, to where I didn't know anything about this guy at all. I mean, I'm sure some of you watching this has probably heard of him. Some people watch my videos that are into more of the extremely underground stuff probably know him. But not knowing anything about him and watching this, and it just being a very gripping documentary, very heartfelt. I loved it because this follows what ultimately ends up being the last year of his life at 88 years old, where he's trying to get another film made. There's this resurgence of his films. He's getting interviews, he's getting contacted, he's getting asked to be at all these film festivals and everything. So he tries to get another film going, and this is the journey of him trying to do that. It shows him and Peggy, who've been married for more than 40 years. They live in a really ran down apartment in, I think it's in Sweden, is where they live. And you know, they're struggling to make ends meet because, you know, he made a lot of bad business deals. He would just get his money up front. He didn't make anything off the returns. And they have very few outlets for income because he hasn't been working for many years. Uh, and you know, he works. He's very old school. He works off an electric typewriter. It shows him working on his scripts, talking about him, meeting with producers, trying to get things off the ground. And yes, it is sad in a way, but you know, like I said, it's, you know, for me coming into this thinking it's just going to be some dirty old man that wants to see naked chicks. It just, he didn't come off that way at all. Not at all. But guys, this was just a great documentary. I absolutely love this. This one is out now from Film Movement, and you know, that's another thing. Film Movement, the stuff that they put out. I never hear anybody. I can't think of one other person I've heard mention Film Movement, and they have consistently put out great films. I mean, I've only seen one of theirs that I didn't really care for, Tanta Agua. But I mean, like La Surgia, In the Name of. There's been several of their films that I've reviewed. If you go back through my reviews, and you know, I mean, they really knock it out of the park with these films. And here, of course, is the card for this, which, as you can see, it came out November 25th. But I mean, they just really put out good stuff, guys, and they've nailed it once again with this one. This is a fantastic documentary. If you're into documentaries, guys, you got to pick this up. I'll put the link down below to where you can buy this film, or you can legally purchase a stream of it through their website. I know I haven't looked it up yet, but I'm sure they have that available also. But it does have a few special features on here. This is quick. It's only 80 minutes long. There was never one time in this documentary where I was bored at all. I loved it. I actually wanted it to go on longer. But, you know, it's just really good. You know, I mean, how Peggy and Joe have stuck together all these years through a lot of hardships. Her mother didn't like him at all, and her mother's actually still alive, and they interview her mother and have her Peggy and her mother talk about, you know, the differences that they've had over the years because of Joe and the types of films he made. It's just an excellent documentary, guys. I highly recommend checking this out. And yes, it does have quite a bit of nudity in it. There's a lot of boobs in this because, you know, it does show a lot of Joe's films, but there's nothing hardcore in it at all. You know, it doesn't show any hardcore stuff, but there are a lot of boobs in it. And, you know, simulated sex acts and stuff like that. But it is a non-rated documentary, which I guess it would have to be showing that stuff. So, you know, it's not one you're going to want to watch with just anybody, especially when the kids are around or whatever. Right now, it's real late at night. I'm the only one up. I figure, it's a good time to put this in and do a review for it. So, yeah, guys, that is A Life in Dirty Movies. Like I said, check out the link below. Pick this up, guys. You will not regret it if you like documentaries. Trust me, this is a really good one. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10 and a high recommendation, guys. So, I am Jason. I appreciate you guys watching. Have a good one, guys. Later.